The type of foods you choose to cook when you're in an emergency situation can drastically have an impact on how long your fuel will last. And I don't think I fully came to that realization until about 2 minutes ago. I tend to do these videos in groups because once my brain starts clicking, it's kind of hard to get it to quit. And I jump from topic to topic or do groups of related topics sometimes. But just stop and think for a minute. If you take a chunk of bread dough and slap it in a pan, how much fuel it would take to heat up a whole oven or an improvised oven that you maybe made yourself with supplies that you have on hand, and how hopefully a solar oven so that if the sun shines you can bake bread. But you think of how much time and fuel that consumes as compared with other methods, which we're going to talk about real quickly here. But how you have to get an oven hot and keep it hot at about 350 degrees for about 22 to 28 minutes, maybe, to cook a loaf of bread. Maybe a little longer than that. Some recipes take some bread takes longer, depends on the size of the loaf, the size of the pan, obviously, the type of bread. And then contrast that to taking a piece of bread dough and tapping it until you get it kind of flat, maybe let it rise a few minutes longer, and how long it would take you to heat up a small pan. Maybe the pan would be yay big with maybe that much oil in the bottom of the pan. It would not take very long to heat that up, and then to keep that heated for 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes maybe. And what I'm referring to is, I don't know for certain that that was a reason that the pioneers that were crossing the plains made scones, but it certainly would have been a time saver and a fuel saver as opposed to baking bread. So if you took a piece of bread dough and deep fried it, of course the fat content is going to go way up, which if scarcity of calories is a problem, then the oil would not be a problem as long as you have enough oil. But a donut was going to cook in probably 3, 4, 5 minutes. A scone is probably going to cook in 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. A pancake as opposed to a muffin. A muffin is going to take probably 12 to 15, 16, 17 minutes in an oven that you have to get up to a temperature of about 350 degrees. Again, hopefully you would have a solar oven. So a pancake is going to cook in probably 2 minutes as opposed to how long it would take to cook a muffin. There are, I'm sure, other examples of similar things that you could make in a quicker fashion. You could baking breadsticks. If you took the dough and made it into the shape of a breadstick, pat it, twist it, roll it between your hands like so until you get the shape of a breadstick, and laying those on a cookie sheet and baking those as opposed to baking the whole loaf as one chunk is going to be quicker. Baking like a lot quicker, like the breadsticks might take, again, 8 to 16 minutes maybe to bake the breadsticks at 350 degrees, as opposed to, again, 25, 35, 40 minutes for a loaf of bread. Baking biscuits in an oven, or bread rolls, individual bread rolls, or small loaves of individual loaves of bread in an oven is going to take less time and less fuel than baking a whole loaf of bread. You don't need bread pans if you don't want to spend the money on bread pans right now. Even if you want to get started experimenting with some bread recipes, you don't need bread pans. You can just take your dough and make it into a cylinder. That's not a very good shape. Yeah, I'll move it a little, but make it into a low round ball and let that rise, and you can obviously buy bread at the store in that shape. You can bake the bread at home in your oven. You don't need to have pans. You can just bake it in a round shape. You can bake it in a French loaf shape and not have to invest right now in pans. I'd rather see you spend the money on sugar and flour and supplies than pans at this juncture, because you can still cut that round bread into beautiful slices and make sandwiches with it. It's not a problem. So just from a fuel standpoint, you may want to think of what all your options are. You may want to take a piece of paper and make a hard copy of ideas of um, all the different things that you can make with your supplies, and then which ones of those things are going to demand less fuel. We have an abundance of fuel at this time. I hope and pray we will always have an abundance of fuel, but we can't rely upon that necessarily, and we can't rely upon our electricity grid to always be up and functional. So in the case that you have a limited supply of fuel, you really want to conserve it as best you can. End of video. God bless your efforts to prepare. Make a list and check it twice, because you are wanting the things that are nice. I'm being a little bit silly. God bless your efforts to prepare. Again, goodbye for now.